Hello again in this installment of Spiritual Wisdom. I'm grateful to all of you who follow me here, to this little community here on YouTube. And before we get started, the reason why I'm in a new venue, so usually when I make a lot of content, I post videos mainly in my bedroom. But my bedroom flooded, so the ceiling came through and it flooded. And I was out at Greg's with my friend when this happened, so my sister luckily saved a lot of my things and moved them out of the spare bedroom we've got in the house, essentially. So that's why the content I'm making is here and there's a lot of mess in the background as well, because my stuff is in here but it's all over the place. However, I'm grateful to all of you who follow me here and to have this little community here on YouTube. And if you're new here, welcome. I hope you're doing well. My name is Nicholas, and on my channel I talk about witchcraft, Wicca, paganism, self-love, crystals and their magical properties, and I also do readings on the channel. So if you're interested in those types of things, you know what to do. Please subscribe and click the bell icon to be notified each time I post a new video. Now, today is going to be a philosophy video. So today I'm going to be talking about every time someone talks about a non-factual topic, they are giving a message. So what do I mean by this? What I mean by non-factual is when it comes to spirituality, it all comes down to what a person believes. Rather someone is walking a religious path or someone is walking their own unique spiritual path where they've got certain spiritual beliefs and they do certain spiritual practices. When it comes to that, what an individual spiritually believes in, it's open to interpretation. So, for example, if someone's talking about angels, angels are found in many cultures or many religions, but if someone walking the Christian path is talking about angels, they may talk about angels in the framework where angels are servants of God and that they serve God. Whereas from my perspective as a non-Christian but as a spiritual person, I see angels as beings that are connected to the creator energy. They're connected to that, but they're beings in their own right and they have their own sovereignty. That's how I see them. But, you know, when it comes to a lot of spiritual topics, the individual speaking about them, they're giving a message. And that message, like any message, is either going to resonate with you, mean it makes sense, you can connect with that person saying, or it's not going to resonate with you, or you just don't agree with the message as well. Now, there are three forms of truth in life. There's factual truth, something we know to be true. There's personal truth. And when it comes to spirituality, that is what a lot of us are very spiritual. That's what we're living. We're not just speaking our truth, but we're also living our truth. And then there's the truth of a situation. For example, if, you know, someone's partner was cheating on them, that is truth of the situation. It's not a nice truth, because the truth isn't always what we want to hear, but it is the truth of a matter in some cases. But when it comes to spirituality, by and large, when a lot of spiritual people talk about what they believe in or things like that, they're giving a message. And that message either resonates with you, the individual who's hearing it, or it doesn't. It's the same with, like, you could read quotes, and you could read quotes what you've saw on social media or in a book, or someone could quote something or say something, and what they're saying, it really resonates with you, it makes sense, it really speaks to your soul, or it doesn't. You know, even politicians, they're giving a message, because politics by and large comes down to theory and someone's perspective. For example, like when we had the Scottish referendum in the UK, there are many Scottish people to this day, but even when near that time, what believed Scotland would be a better off country if it was independent. That was their message. And there's still people who believe that to this day. That was their message. And message what Scotland would be better off as an independent country. Now, and then on the other hand, there are people who believe Scotland would not be better off as an independent country as well. So, and me and my perspective, I don't believe us, I believe us becoming an independent country would be a lot worse off for Scotland. There'd be a big price to pay for it, and it'd be a lot more trouble than it's worth. But I was not in favour of. But at the end of the day, you have to make your own mind up, because in politics, it's someone telling their belief or their perspective, their message based on the evidence they have at hand. But it's, that's why voting is involved, because when it comes to politics, there's theoretical things what can be voted on, as well. And then the general public get a say in that, and in a democracy, the general public get a say in that, and the majority vote wins as well. So again, it all depends on the matter at hand. But by and large, when spiritual people talk, they're giving, or a religious person talks, they're giving a message. And it's important to remember that. Another way I can explain this is like if someone's Christian, for example, that not that I've got anything against Christianity, and I understand that for some people, Christianity may be the right path for some individuals, and it may answer the big questions, but we're all wanting answers too. For some people, like they may talk about like God, or Yahweh, but the Christian God, and they may believe in the Holy Trinity. They believe Jesus literally is the Son of God, and heaven, hell, purgatory, the topic of sin and what you can be punished for your sins, these types of things. That individual is giving a message. Basically, they're saying what they believe in, practices that or prayers or experiences they've had that have deepened what they believe in. But at the end of the day, if you're, like me and you're pagan and you're hearing that, but you respect what that person believes in, but what they believe in, you don't believe in the same thing, or just what their message doesn't resonate with you. And sometimes in life, when you're on a spiritual path, you're going to hear messages that don't resonate with you. You're going to hear messages that don't resonate with you. And if they don't, someone tells you what they don't, but you could hear a message, meaning someone's telling you what they believe in, what they've experienced, and when you hear something you don't particularly agree with, or something that just doesn't resonate, you leave it behind. You tell that person what you respect what they believe in, but you don't agree, what they believe in isn't your belief, or you just don't see things the way they do. And that's not disrespect. It's, foolish to blindly believe with someone or blindly agree with them. But it's respectful just to say, okay, you believe what you want to believe and I believe what I want to believe. That's the way we should approach a situation when you find a message you don't agree with as well. For example, in my case, when it comes to Jesus, I know many Christians literally believe what Jesus is the Son of God, and that's their message. But that message does not resonate with me. Because to me, Jesus was a real person in history, but he was a teacher, someone who taught people, gave people knowledge, wisdom. And many of his followers referred to him as rabbi, and in a way he was a sort of rabbi, a teacher, where he taught people, gave people knowledge and insight, taught people what he knew about God or what he believed, and how one should conduct or live their life. But by and large, there are some things that Jesus did preach that I do agree with, like be kind, be compassionate to others, be mindful of your actions as well. Now, he talked about punishment, like if you were not mindful of your actions, God could punish you for your sins, sort of thing. But from my spiritual perspective, to me, the way the university's way of teaching people lessons or punishing people is through the karma, through the law of karma, that whatever energy you send out, you're always going to get that back. So that, from my perspective, the universe punishes that way. But karma is not necessarily a punishment, and even the divine, they don't punish, they more teach. But they teach what every action has a reaction, sort of thing as well. But I don't really believe it was the Son of God literally, but I believed that he loved God so much. He loved Yahweh, which is the Jewish God, and when he said he was the Son of God, in a way he was, but he was also saying we're all children of God essentially as well. However, that's my perspective, my message on him, and it either resonates or not, because if someone very Christian believes literally that Jesus is the Son of God literally, and they believe in all the Trinity and things like that, and someone has a different viewpoint or a different perspective, a different message entirely, a different belief system, a different message, then those two messages are going to contradict each other. So those two people are not going to see eye to eye, but at the end of the day it's important to respect each other's belief and each other's paths, essentially. You don't have to agree with someone else's beliefs, paths, or their messages, but you just respect what they believe in and their message as well. And that's the important thing. And so many times in life, when someone is speaking about an unfactual topic, a topic that can't be proven or disproven through scientific means, it's a message. It's what someone genuinely believes in, it's their personal truth, and it's a message. For example, and just to close the video here, it's like if someone believes in ghosts, for example, there may be a point in history where science can prove that ghosts do exist, but like spiritual people like myself, we believe in ghosts. We've seen them if we're very clairvoyant, which I am. We see them through our clairvoyance. But science can't prove they don't exist, and it can't prove what they do at this current situation. It's the same with gods, goddesses, or even the concept of one God. Science can't prove in the world's current state what they are such a thing as divinity or God, but they also can't disprove it. So therefore, a lot of spiritual things, because we can't put a fact on them, science can't prove what they exist and explain how they exist at the world's current state. That may change in the future, as well. That may change in the future, but science is able to prove there are higher power in the universe that created all life and how that higher power works. Science may prove that they are, ghosts, so to speak. But right now, those types of things are in the realm of belief and the realm of theory and perspective, those types of things. Now, I do believe in them, but at the end of the day, because they're not factual things, there are many forces in this world that exist, but you can't touch them physically or see them physically. And we live in a world where everyone tends to trust. People tend to believe or trust in what they can see. So people have that attitude: if I can't see it, if I can't touch it, it doesn't exist. Which is not it's not my perspective. It's not the truth, if you like. For me, that doesn't. So, because if I get a good friend in my life, but also my partner's atheistic, he respects my beliefs, but he doesn't necessarily have the same beliefs as me, as well, because he's that type of person. If I can't see it and I can't physically touch it, it doesn't exist in his perspective, in his eyes. And I know a lot of people like that in life as well. But we who are spiritual people, we know just because you can't see something with your physical eyes or touch it, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. But a lot of people in the world, that's how they look at things. And by and large, when anyone spiritual or someone even political is talking about something, they're giving a message, and it's either going to resonate or it's not going to resonate. And that's why in life, when you're walking a spiritual path, you should always take what makes sense to you, what resonates, and leave what doesn't at the end of the day. If it doesn't make sense, doesn't feel right to you, and it doesn't ring true for you, that message, then leave it behind as well. And that's my message here in the video. But every time a spiritual person talks and they're sharing their beliefs, their perspective, they're giving a message. And at the end of the day, it's either going to resonate or it's not. Until next time, stay safe, stay wise, walk your spiritual path with pride, and if you're a practicing witch like me, stay witchy. May part meet again, blessed be.